I'm Mike Gorman from the University of Virginia, and I'm going to talk about two methods for encouraging collaboration and co-creation of value across different disciplines and expertises. Those are trading zones and interactional expertise. And you see my contact info if you're interested in following up. So let's take an example. Use education, as I'm a professor. Let's say we're trying to develop new technologies to enhance human capabilities in education, as it shows in the little diagram on the left, which can involve, I note at the top, nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, cognitive strategies, and other disciplines. Therefore, we're going to need multiple disciplines to work together on it. I've also included ethicists and educators. This might be something like neural implants to actually interface directly with the human nervous system or greatly improve vision, or all kinds of hybrid devices where you begin to blur the distinction between what is part of the human body and what is a robotic assistant. We're not only going to need multiple disciplines to work together to build these technologies, we're also going to need ethics and forward thinking about governance in order to figure out which ones we want to build and how to manage them. Now, this is a huge disciplinary sweep. These are disciplines that have very different ways of thinking, different languages, different mental models. How do you get them to work together? Peter Galison, historian of science at Harvard, provides an answer. He looked at the development of radar and nuclear particle detectors and noted that parts even of physics and engineering, which seem like they're close, spoke very different languages. And in order to work together, they had to set up a trading zone in which they would begin with relatively simple exchanges, a part, a little bit of information, a diagram, but inevitably those led to deeper and deeper exchanges. So in a trading zone, you're exchanging goods with another culture. Initially, you may not have to understand much about the other culture to make the exchange work. A very simple exchange. But in these kinds of collaborations to develop new technologies, you're going to need to go much deeper than that in the trade. You're going to have to exchange some pretty sophisticated knowledge as well as time and resources. And eventually, out of one of these trading zones, new disciplines can emerge. Look at a discipline like biomedical engineering. Look at service science itself. I'm sure if I looked at the history of service science, I'd see trading zones among various practitioners who said, we have something in common. We're trying to do something similar. And then you gradually involve a common language and journals and all those other features. So trading zone can lead eventually to a new discipline. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Second concept I want to share with you today is the idea of interactional expertise and how that can act as a catalyst, how an interactional expert can act as a catalyst in a trading zone. So if you look on the right, I show you T-shaped expertise. Interactional is up on top on the breadth part of the T, and then on the downward part of the T, it's contributory expertise. Contributory expertise is the core expertise someone has in a discipline. I'm a social psychologist of science, that would be my core expertise. And interactional expertise is what I gain in other disciplines. Here's the difference. A contributory expert can do original research in his or her own discipline. The interactional expert can talk intelligently with members of another disciplinary community, one other than which he or she is a contributory expert, but not actually do the research. If you look down the bottom left, I note that Harry Collins, the author of these concepts, became an interactional expert in the gravitational wave physics community by spending hours and hours talking to gravitational wave physicists, going to conferences, interviewing them. He gradually picked up the language. In this case, he wasn't developing a Creole. He was learning enough of their language to communicate, as it were, like a native, without being able to do the research, without being able to do the mathematics. And everybody knew that. But they still found the kind of questions he was asking, as an outsider interested in the field, provocative. Now, Collins in this work was not trying to co-create value with the gravitational wave physicists except to understand them. Imagine a service scientist trying to co-create value, as I've shown in that little diagram to the left. Here the service scientist is acting as an interactional expert to try to bring together the appropriate neuroscience, IT, and psychology experts to develop some new educational technology, and also working with the ethicists and the educators. And the service scientist is the one who can move the most fluidly among the communities, because he or she is gaining interactional expertise rapidly. It's still important for those different disciplines to gradually learn one another's languages or develop a new language together, a Creole. But the interactional expert can serve initially a kind of a role like a trade agent, where you understand enough about two cultures to help them learn how to trade together and understand one another. There's been a great deal of work on these two topics, which I'm skirting in this short video. But if you want to know more, a good place to start is this volume I edited on trading zones and interactional expertise for exactly this purpose, hoping to get the word out to multiple disciplinary communities. It includes a chapter by Jim Sporer and I on service science and lots of other application areas in addition to papers on the core theory and what kind of research should be done in the future on these concepts. And of course, I welcome contact with anybody in the community who would like to learn more about this. Thank you.